I was live on Instagram and I wasn't. Every time I do this, it's like for the first time. I swear. What's going on, y'all? It's been a minute. Happy to see y'all. All right, I just wanted to hop in, so I'm live here. Hopefully, y'all can hear me on YouTube as well. Let me make sure volume's in place. So I just wanted to hop on here. I'm getting a little warning message on my Zoom. I don't know what that is because tech is not my thing, right? Anyways, what's going on, Sham? So I just wanted to hop on here. This was not planned. What's going on, babe? So I just wanted to hop on here. This was not planned. So I'm going to be here and here as I look to the YouTube crew as well. Like I said, I didn't schedule to go live, but I felt compelled to share a message. Especially, I've been working on this new course called Master Resistance and Unleash Your Inner Powerhouse for those who feel stuck and want to break free. It's really all about understanding why we get stuck and what we can do about it. And as I was putting all of this together and reflecting on the conversations that I've been having with my newsletter community, shout outs to my newsletter community, and just with people in passing, and just that when I speak from a place of where I used to be. And, sometimes things come up for me as well. And so I'm sharing this with y'all. And I say this to say I have not excluded myself from this conversation, right? I'm looking real weird on YouTube. It says the bit rate is low. But anyway. All right, so there's going to be somebody's actually coming into the house. When you do an unscheduled live stream, people just stop by, I think my son is coming home from work. But I wanted to say, there was a time where the plants look healthy. Yeah. Thank my sister for that. She's got the green thumb. So she takes care of those babies back there. I love being here with the plants. Makes me feel like I'm outside, even in the midst of Boston, right? So there was a long time ago where I felt that I didn't belong. Or I didn't belong here in this world. There were times where actually I felt like the good life was just reserved for a few, the good life, or reserved for just a certain group of people and not for me. And essentially I was sort of stuck in this cycle of negativity and low self-worth. And I thought this way for a long time. I really thought that joy and peace of mind was out of reach. And I had this really deep desire to go from a life I felt that I had to live to a life that I was free to live. Oh, snap. Look who's on. Lily, what's up? What's happening? And it took a lot of healing of my mind, of my heart, and taking lots of risks to get to a place where I felt free to live how I wanted to live. And so there might be things that you might want to do in your life, or the version of yourself that is there, that's desperately trying to come out. But because of the negative mind chatter and the stories that you tell yourself, at least the negative stories that you tell yourself, that you dismiss. You dismiss yourself and everything that is good and beautiful within you. And so we know that challenges are inevitable. If you're here, you can't escape it. But we often become very paralyzed by the stories we tell ourselves. I always say we often become very much overly identified with these stories, meaning there's no separation between you and that challenge. And there might be instances where you feel flawed as a result of that story. What's going on, Keisha? And so maybe it's fear failing or fear of, feeling not feel like you're not good enough, or maybe you're clinging to past experiences, those past hurts, all those things. And so these stories keep us very much hidden, right, and playing small. And to me, that's just the resistance talking, right? Resistance says a lot of things. It tells you that you're not good enough. It says this won't work. It says, don't bother, don't try. And again, I used to identify with so many of these stories that kept me operating not even at a fraction of what I was capable of. And these stories were on an incessant loop. So I don't know if that sounds familiar to you, if maybe you felt that way yourself. So because of these stories, I bypassed, opportunities, or I didn't initiate things. I took the low way out and I hid. Not the highway, not the back way, but the low way. And I quietly excused myself. But I quietly excused myself from my own life. But that's what pain and trauma does, right? It keeps you hidden. And in order for you to transcend that pain and trauma, and what I mean by transcend is to move through it, right? To heal from it, you must be seen. And not necessarily like, get on an IG live, but you must be willing to face what hurts, and you must be willing to face uncomfortable truths. And you know what I've come to realize, y'all? I've come to realize that we as a society have shied away from making difficult decisions. We really have. As a society, we become very comfortable hiding behind the easy way out. And because of how easy it is to hide, we become very reluctant to make some of those difficult decisions. And we just totally taken a lot of it out of the equation. But true growth requires difficult decisions. There's really no way around it. And I remember I was having this conversation with somebody who was telling me how much they felt trapped in their life, trapped in the job that they were doing, trapped in the location that they were living, just overall trapped. And I totally can relate to that, because there was a point in my life where I felt really trapped and I got really burnt out and all that stuff. And I've told my story quite a few times, but so I know what that feels like. It feels like you don't have any other options. But I no longer believe that to be the case. I'll use an example from a long time ago. When I officially moved overseas. Before I moved overseas, I made a very difficult decision to rehome my cat of 13 years. And I'll never do that again, okay? But I was at a point in my life where it almost felt like me against everything else, even the cat. And at the time, because of my grief, I couldn't wrap my head around how I was going to move overseas, how I was going to get to the next stage of my life with my cat, unfortunately. And there were just way too many variables for me to considering the state of grief that I was in. And so I made a very difficult decision to rehome my cat. And for some people, if you're not an animal person, this might seem like a small thing. But if you're an animal person, that's like your kid, like you just don't get rid of your kid. But I had to do that at the time. That's what I felt like I had to do. And I feel like every challenging decision that I've made in my life has sort of steered me closer to a life now I choose to live, not one I have to live. And I don't say this to boast, because none of it came easy, but I say this to say that both of these circumstances, they go hand in hand. And so the best way for you to move past any sort of resistance that might be coming up for you in your life, the negative loops, the stuckness, is to begin making hard decisions. This could be hard financial decisions. This could be hard location decisions. This could be hard friendship, community, group decisions. But it needs to be had. No longer can we sort of hide behind the, frustration, the complaining, the venting. We have to act, right? And so the quicker that you confront and understand the resistance behind your hesitation to make whatever decision it is, to, fully live your life out loud, to live a life that feels bold to you, the kind of life that makes you feel like you come alive, the sooner that you can claim the life you deserve, the sooner that you can claim your space here in this world. I always say, we didn't come here to pay bills and die, okay? We didn't come here to do that. We didn't come here to simply be oppressed by our thoughts or our circumstances. That's not what we're here for, especially when you understand that you're connected to something a lot bigger than yourself. And some of you may not be able to tap into that connection just yet. But at some point you'll be able to make that connection when you do a bit more healing work and when you sort of dig deep. But in order for you to get to the point where you go from living a life that you have to live to living a life that you want to live, it comes with these micro decisions. Some of them are small and some of them are very big, but it also comes with you facing uncomfortable truths about yourself, about your life, because we hide away from that. And the longer that we hide from all of this, the longer that we're going to feel like our lives are totally out of control, spiraling, or that we feel boxed in our own anxieties. So my question to you is, what resistance are you facing, or what decisions are you putting off, or what emotions are you avoiding to face, right? That is preventing you from stepping forward, preventing you from being seen. I used to think that actually one of the things that I get often, I do a lot of traveling, is that some people say, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. Or I wish I could quit my job. I wish I could travel like that. You have to understand, there is nothing unique about any of these things, right? You're a unique individual. We're all unique individuals. But the place that you aspire to be, maybe someone else is there where you aspire to be. There's no difference. The difference is just in a decision. That's it. That is the difference. And sometimes it feels really out of reach, but the only reason it feels out of reach, and the only difference that separates between you and that person, whomever that person is just a decision. That's it. It's them maybe facing some of the resistance, some of the fears, and actually taking the step forward. So it is not as complicated as we make it out to be once we understand what is behind the hesitation, the reluctance, and the fear. And the quicker we get to that understanding, the quicker we get to the life of our choosing. So that's my message for y'all. And if this is where you're at, you can join me inside my course, send me a message if you want the details. But I hope that whether you become, or whether you join the course or not, just know that you're just one decision away. And some of you may have heard that quote, you're just one decision away from a different life. And that it's so true. And there was a point in my life where I couldn't resonate with that statement because I was so knee deep in my own traumas and stories and loops. And then when you get to that other side, right, when you really stick through some of the really difficult moments, you're going to connect with that. And you're going to be like, why did I take so long? Why did I take so long? And you're going to wish you did it sooner. Not necessarily out of regret, per se, but just because you have a newfound knowledge and newfound resonance in your body. Now you can fully embody that. because you stuck through it all, right? And what's it called? Yogi Locks. I like that name. You're welcome. The divine is always on time. Yogi Lock says, thank you, perfect timing for that message. Yeah, that's all I want to share with y'all. I know I haven't been online, I haven't done a live in a while, and that's because I've been in my contemplation and phase, and I've been sort of, I got so accustomed to like going, because sometimes we can take that matrix conditioning of like grind with us in different seasons of our lives. And I needed more space for quiet, more space, because it's through that quiet that you feel a bit more creative, you feel more connected with yourself. And so I just, I posted on my stories like a while ago, I said, I didn't have nothing to say, you know what I'm saying? But if you stay connected with me through my newsletter, I do have more to say there, because it's a different kind of medium than, you know, IG and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm rambling. But I don't know if I'll be back live. I don't know when it will happen. But, you know, if I feel called. But if you have any questions, anything, feel free, DM me. Some people just definitely send me DMs. To find out more about the course, you can click the link in the bio. I try not to say that, but, you know, with IG. But you can just send me an email. DM. DM me, send me a message. But all the information is wherever you find those links in the bio. The course starts April 15th. And I'll see y'all there, maybe. Okay? All right. That's all I got. See y'all next time. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And take care of yourselves, okay? I got whatever.